Sitting on the park bench, eyeing little girls with bad intensity. Hey, Aquila, drying in the cold sun, watching as the pretty Peggy.
Resident Evil, or Biohazard as it's known in Japan, was released by Capcom for the Sony PlayStation in 1996 and later ported to other consoles, as well as spawning a remake several years later along with many sequels, and paved the way for a huge franchise. You play as a member of the Special Tactics and Rescue Squad, or STARS team, who gets stranded in a mansion filled with zombies and other mutated creatures, with the goal of getting the hell out. Based on that description, you'd think that this was a non-stop, fast-paced action game where you go around blasting countless zombies from start to finish, but that's not the case at all. It's definitely a gory bloodfest when the enemies are around, but a lot of the rooms are empty and you're just walking around the corner waiting for the potential attack, and the deliberate pace for the door opening sequence for the room-to-room transitions just adds to the suspense, which is really the driving force here. Now that doesn't mean that nothing's going on when there are no enemies in the area. A good percentage of the game is solving various puzzles to find hidden doors, keys, weapons, and various other items to advance, many of which make you wonder who the hell would design a house like this. There's not a shitload of ammo laying around either, far from it. You definitely have to conserve your ammo, so don't go around blasting rounds into inanimate objects for shits and giggles. You don't have bottomless pockets either. You'll have 6 or 8 slots to hold items depending on which character you select. So you have to strategize which items to hold on to and which ones you want to drop off into the item box that you'll find later on as a means of storage. These limitations of firepower and inventory magnify the whole aspect of survival, which is what the game is famous for pioneering, and the text that appears when you load your game back up telling you that you've re-entered the world of survival horror coined the phrase for the whole subgenre of survival horror. It's not the first survival horror game of all time, but it did put the genre on the map and paved the way for many imitators. Adding to these limitations is the ability to save. You have to find ink ribbons which you'll use to save your progress at various typewriters scattered throughout the game. So you have to conserve your ink ribbons too, plus they take up a spot in your inventory, although thankfully there's usually an item box in the same room as the typewriters. Aside from using items, you can also check them, which gives you the ability to examine the item, rotate it around and shit, and sometimes it will be necessary to use this feature, as you'll find some items within an item. There's Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. Jill's mode is a lot easier. There's more weapons, you get a lockpick, and you can carry more items. Jill can carry 8 and Chris only 6. While a lot of the game is the same no matter who you pick, there are some differences, particularly with the storyline. Chris has a combat buddy in Rebecca Chambers, while Jill teams up with Barry Burton. Not only do Chris and Jill have different scenarios, but depending on the routes you take and the options you choose, there are multiple paths the story can take, with alternate cutscenes and game endings. So there's quite a bit of replay value if you're interested to see the various developments. One of the most infamous aspects of the game is the voice acting. It's absolutely fucking atrocious, but it's so unintentionally hysterical, everything about it, the dialogue, the performances, it sounds like a fucking parody, it's so bad. But it's so bad that it's good. The combat as well as the controls have a bit of a learning curve to it. It's a third-person perspective over a 2D backdrop. Pressing up on the D-pad will always move you forward no matter what direction you're facing on the screen. Pressing R1 draws the weapon you have equipped, X fires, and pressing left and right on the D-pad spins you around. You turn pretty slowly, and sometimes the camera angle isn't the best spot for battle, particularly with the aiming. But while the combat isn't perfect, it's also not the focal point of the game. It's mostly the puzzles and exploration. Now for this walkthrough, I'm not going to be completely meticulous in letting you know every single item to drop into the item box. You may have a different amount of free spaces if you've used up more ammo, or if you want to carry more health on you, etc. These things I'll leave to your discretion, but I'll be keeping tabs with the important shit. I'll also let you know of crucial parts of the game to save your progress. If you want to be more conservative, that's up to you. So the game starts out with a live action sequence. It's the same whether you're Chris or Jill, and if it's the American or European versions of the game, it's a butchered edited version. The STARS Bravo team was sent to a forest in Raccoon City to investigate reports of families being attacked and eaten, and never responded. So Chris, Jill, Barry, Joseph, and Captain Wesker search around, and after finding a severed hand, Joseph is attacked and killed by a dog. Brad, the pilot, takes off like a pussy, abandoning his comrades. More dogs give chase, and the Alpha team runs to a nearby mansion. As Chris, only you, Jill, and Wesker make it. Barry's missing. And as Jill, only Jill, Wesker, and Barry make it. Chris is nowhere to be found. After hearing some gunshots in the next room, you'll go investigate. Barry comes with you if you're Jill, and he'll also find some blood and decide for some reason to investigate it thoroughly. Go into the door here, head this way, and you'll find a zombie munching on someone. Run away from it, don't waste bullets, and you'll have no gun as Chris, only a combat knife. I guess he dropped his gun. Jill tries to tell Barry about it, but the zombie opens up the door and comes after you, and Barry blasts him in the head. Now notice how clueless Barry is to any of his surroundings throughout this whole sequence. He constantly needs to know what everything is.
What is this? What is it? What? What is this? What is... What is it?
What is he, retarded? So head back to the main hall and Wesker is gone, along with Jill if you're Chris, but you'll find Jill's gun. So now either way you've got a Beretta handgun. Barry suggests to search the hall for Wesker, which of course he's not in, just look around. Whatever, run to the end of the hall and come back to complete your quote-unquote search. You'll agree to split up and Barry will give you a lockpick. Even though Jill is the master of unlocking, Barry had the lockpick the whole time for some reason. Thankfully the lockpick won't affect your inventory, you'll always have it and it doesn't take up a spot. Before you go anywhere, just for shits and giggles, try going out the front door. One of the dogs will try to get inside, and you close the door on it. And when you try to leave again, the game won't let you, citing that it's too dangerous to go outside. But yeah, it's perfectly safe in here. So go back to where you first found the zombie. If you're Chris, it should still be alive, so shoot it down, and grab the clips off of Bravo team member Kenneth Sullivan's corpse. Poor dude. Now go back to the main hall and grab the ink ribbons from the typewriter. As Chris, head upstairs and take a left through these double doors. There are 2 zombies in here. Shoot the first one you see and push the statue against the other one. He'll walk straight into it like a dumbass. Use the combat knife on him to save bullets, then push the statue off the ledge onto the floor in the dining room below. Don't worry about it yet. Head into the next door, kill the zombies in the corridor, and go down the stairs. Kill the zombies here and enter the medical room through this door where you get maced in the face. Here you'll meet Rebecca Chambers, who mistook you for a zombie. After some small talk, grab the sword key from the bed and throw the combat knife into the item box and pick up the clips that are in there. On your way out, Rebecca asks if you'd like to take her along with you. Choose yes, and even though you're working together, she asks you to go ahead as she has something to prepare. So continue down the hallway, kill the zombie, and go through the door ahead of you. Kill the zombies and head this way. Kill another zombie, and go through this door using the sword key. Grab the clip on the bed and check the desk. You'll be sneak attacked by a zombie coming out of the closet. Keep your distance and shoot him down. Then take the shells from the closet and grab the keeper's diary from the desk. This will be one of many files you'll find for some interesting reading material. This one in particular involves the diary of a man who slowly becomes a zombie, documenting his progress throughout the diary. Head into the next door and now you're back in the hallway where you encountered the first zombie. Head up this way and use the sword key on this door. Push the bookcase out of the way and grab the music notes. Use them on the piano and Chris tries to play, but can't read music. Rebecca shows up and Chris has a hard time remembering if it's her or not.
Is that you, Rebecca?
Fucking dolt. Rebecca tries to play the Moonlight Sonata, but she butchers this masterpiece because she sucks. She asks you if she can practice for a little while. Pick yes, even though if you say no, she'll practice anyway. We could be saving the life of a fellow STARS member at this moment, but fuck it. Music wins over everything. Head out, go back to the dining room and grab the emblem. Then head out to the main hall and save the game if you like. Go back and Rebecca plays an acceptable rendition of the Moonlight Sonata, which prompts a secret door to open. Take the gold emblem, which prompts the door to close back. Replace it with the regular emblem and you can take the gold one out with you. Bring it back to the dining room and put the gold emblem in the casing, which causes the grandfather clock to chime and move, allowing you to grab the shield key. While you're here, grab the blue jewel that fell from the statue you pushed off earlier and bring it out back to this hallway. Go through the door and you'll hit a statue that reads, "Some tigers have a blue eye and a red eye." Now that's a tiger I don't want to fuck with. Use the blue jewel, placing it into its eye and it'll move, giving you the wind crest. Stash it into the item box and head back out to the main hall. Now if you're Jill, your route from the beginning is going to be different. You could go the same way through the double doors on the second floor like Chris, but instead go through the blue double doors on the other side of the first floor. Push the stairs against the statue and climb up to grab the first floor map. Then push this trunk out of the way and head in here. This corpse on the floor is a zombie playing dead. If you walk into him, he'll grab your leg and you'll stomp or kick his head off. Instead, just walk around him and grab the ink ribbon from the wall. Go back and open this door using the lockpick. The lockpick will open all the doors unlocked with the sword key in Chris's mission, so you won't be able to— Whoa, that scared the shit out of me. At least it sure as hell fucking did when I first experienced it. Shoot down the zombie dog and move on down the hallway. Oh shit, there's another one. Kill him too, and then push the trunk out of the way and grab the clip. Open the next door into the winding hallway. Grab the green herb in the corner, which you can use to replenish your health, and continue down the hallway. This door leads to a bathroom where you'll find absolutely nothing, except a toilet that's apparently not useful. Go through the next door and you're in a small room that seems to serve no purpose except to lead you into the next room. Grab the shotgun off the wall, which seems to trigger something. Head out and— ah, shit, you're locked in. Don't worry, just stand there and Barry will show up to kick the door down, and also state the obvious.
Hurry! This way!
No, I was gonna go the other way. Here, Barry will utter his famous quote.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
So after that, Barry leaves. Go into the next door in the hallway, kill the 2 zombies, and head into this room. There are several paintings hung up on the wall and crows perched up near the ceiling. The paintings all resemble the stages of a man's life, with a switch you can push on each, and one at the end of the room with a message asking to give me the peace of death and I'll give you the joy of life. Push all the switches in chronological order: newborn, infant, lively boy, young man, middle-aged man, old man, and finally the painting at the end, and doing so in the correct order will move the painting and you can grab the star crest. If you push the switch at the end without doing this right, the crows will attack you. So head back out and go through this door, kill the zombie, and head into the storeroom here. Put the crest in the item box as well as the herbicide that you find here on the floor. Head back out and up the stairs, kill the 2 zombies and go through this door. Kill the zombie, head down this way, and enter the room here. There's nothing useful in here except the Botanical Book describing the herbs that grow in Raccoon City. They're not talking about weed, they're talking about cures for physical wounds. The green herb is for health, the blue herb is for poison, and the red herb triples the effectiveness of the other 2. There are multiple combinations, but the book doesn't explain any of them, citing that the best way to acquire knowledge is to experiment. Or to buy a fucking book on the subject, you asshole! What the hell kind of book is this? So here are the mixing combinations. You can go 1 green and 1 red, which triples your health increase, 2 or 3 green herbs together, which basically merge the herbs together to save space in your inventory, 1 green and 1 blue, or 2 green and 1 blue, which merges the respective herbs, and finally 1 of each of the 3 herbs, which triples your health and cures your poison. Another thing I should have mentioned is your health status. When you pause the game to check your inventory, your health is indicated in this little box down here. You can be in either fine, caution, or danger. The hierarchy here is obvious. And you can also be poisoned. So go back, continue down the hall, kill the zombie, and head into this door. You're back in the main hall on the 2nd floor. Barry is there, and he seems to think that the hall is the dangerous area.
Whoa! This hall is dangerous!
Yeah, okay, nothing's happened here yet. He gives you some acid rounds, and you split up again. Now head into this door to the balcony, and you'll find a bazooka, right next to the corpse of Star's member Forrest. Right after examining him, you'll be attacked by crows. Run back out. The acid rounds, as well as the explosive rounds and flame rounds, can be loaded into the bazooka. Save this for bigger enemies and boss battles. Now you can take the same route you did earlier as Chris, only this time you won't meet up with Rebecca in the medicine room. You won't need the sword key since you've got the lockpick, and you won't need someone to play the piano for you since Jill can read music. Before you head that way though, grab the herbicide from the item box and head down this way into the greenhouse. There's some vines that lash out at you if you get too close. You won't be able to get by, unless of course you use the herbicide in the pump over here. It'll poison the plant and you can advance. Grab the armor key from the wall, and there are a shitload of green herbs and a couple red herbs to stock up on. Head back to this hallway and open this door with the armor key. Unlock the desk with the lockpick and take the shells. To unlock these desks with Chris, you'll have to use small keys you'll find here and there, and they can only be used once. Grab the clip, but don't take the broken shotgun, and head back out. Now, as Chris, you'll want to head up to the 2nd floor and grab the small key in the hallway before finding Forrest. You won't get the bazooka as Chris, so there's really no need to head onto this balcony. Now you'll head through the blue double doors and do all the same shit as Jill, except you can't have Barry rescue you from the descending ceiling. Leave that room alone for now. The bathroom does prove useful for Chris, as the muddy water that you can drain from the bathtub will reveal a small key. Once you get the armor key and go into this room, grab the broken shotgun, because you'll need it to replace the shotgun on the wall to prevent the descending ceiling from squashing you. While you're in the main hall along the way, use the armor key here. There's a clip in front of the mirror here, and some shells in the desk, as well as some herbs in the next room alongside a crawling zombie. Just walk around him. In the winding hallway again, use the armor key on this door to get to the dog kennel. 2 dogs will lurk from the other side of the fence and jump out at you. Take them out once they appear. There's nothing in this area but herbs, but there's quite a few, so grab them, mix them if you like, and stash them in the item box. Head upstairs after the storeroom and use the armor key on this door. Head this way and enter the researcher's room. Grab the ink ribbon from the coat on the wall and read the researcher's will on the desk. The first half of this document may or may not be there depending on the path you take. It's basically a letter an infected researcher named Martin Crackhorn wrote to his wife Alma, letting her know that he was going to kill himself rather than become a zombie. Push the switch on the bug display on the wall, which will drain the fish tank, making it light enough for you to push aside, and grab the shells in the wall. Now head into the room on the other side and grab the lighter off the bookcase, as well as the shells beside the bed and the red herb on the other side. Head back out, continue down the hallway, kill the zombie, and open this door to this small room. Use the lighter on the fireplace and it will burn into the paper above to formulate the map of the second floor. Take it. Now head out to this hall, use the armor key on the blue double doors, and push these statues over the 2 vents, and push the button in the center of the room to lower the casing and grab the sun crest. If you don't put the statues over the vents and push the button, poisonous gas is released and you have to leave the room and start over again. Unlock this door with the armor key, which is useless now that all the armored doors are unlocked, and so discard it. When you get inside, Richard from Bravo Team is dying from a poisonous snake bite. He needs serum. So run back to the medicine room, grab the serum, and head back. He'll die anyway, but he'll give you his radio, which you can use to receive transmissions in certain spots. This serum rescue mission won't happen if you're Chris. Richard is already dead, unless you haven't met Rebecca yet, which is unlikely. Either way, grab a clip from Richard and head into the next room. Kill the zombie that sneaks up on you, and head down this corridor into this small dark room. Use the lighter on the candle here so you can see the shells you'll grab here in the hutch, or acid rounds if you're Jill, and a clip here. You're going to be heading up to the attic here in a bit, but first head down to the storeroom and stash away the lighter, crest, and whatever other items you have besides health and weapons, as well as the shield key. Make sure you have the shotgun as Chris and the bazooka as Jill. This is a good spot to save too. So go back up, use the shield key, discard it, and enter the attic where you'll encounter a huge fucking snake. Use the beam in the middle of the room as a half-assed barricade and take a shot. You'll piss off the snake and he'll slither around the beam to get to you. So play Ring Around the Rosie and take shots when its mouth isn't too close. He'll lunge out at you and take some bites of your legs. If you get bitten, which you probably will, take a shot right away as it won't attack immediately after landing a bite. Just retreat after firing. Getting bit will poison you, and there's also several degrees of poison. Fine poison, caution poison, and danger poison. If you're in danger, heal yourself right away, because if the snake gets close to you in this state, it'll swallow you whole. Keep this pace up until it retreats back into the hole it crawled out of, and run off to that spot and pick up the moon crest, and then pick up the shells on this barrel here. You could also do this during the fight if you run out of bullets. After leaving the room, if you're poisoned, which like I said you probably are, you'll fall to the floor, feeling the poison kicking in. Jill will pass out, and Barry enters to bring her back to the medicine room where she'll awaken. As Chris, Rebecca shows up, and at this point you have to take control of Rebecca and send her off to the medicine room to grab the serum and bring it back to Chris. Hopefully you've taken out all the zombies to make this trip a walk in the park. If you chose not to take Rebecca with you, she'll carry Chris to this room a la Barry. After she cures you, or after waking up, head back to the storeroom and save your game. Now equip the 4 crests and bring your handgun or shotgun if you like to the door down the hallway and kill the dog. Place the 4 crests in these slots and the door will unlock. Push the stairs against the wall here and climb up and take the square crank. There's also a small key on the barrel here if you're Chris. Head out this door and you're finally outside the mansion in the courtyard. Kill the dogs and you'll get a radio transmission from Brad calling out to any STARS member. Jill tries to answer but he doesn't respond. Remember, you don't have the radio yet as Chris. There's a bunch of green and red herbs along the back wall here, and heading down this way you can get the map of the courtyard, although it's a small and straightforward area with no real need of a map. Head through this gate here, head down this way, and use the square crank on this device and it opens up the steel door, leading the water that was filled up on this side to drain over to the opposite end, and now you can head down this path. When you get up here, little snakes will drop down from the trees, I guess. They're poisonous, but you don't have to deal with them. Just run by and head down the elevator. Kill the dogs and continue down to the gate here. Kill the dogs in this area and grab the green and blue herbs and press on and enter the guardhouse. There's some blue herbs out front here if you have room for them. Heading down this corridor and right, there's a small hole in the floor that if you walk by, a tentacle will slip out and grip your neck. So push this statue over it to cover it up. Head into this save room here and grab the first aid spray and explosive rounds as Jill. It's a clip as Chris. Leave, head through this door, and go through this immediate door to your left. Drain the tub of the disgusting water and grab the control room key. Head back out and down this way, kill the zombies, and grab the red book off the bed, which is completely blank if you open it up. What a weird book. Use the small key or lockpick on this desk for shells. There's also a small key in this jar over here. Head back out and go through the red double doors here. There are giant spiders on the ceiling that drop down and spit a poisonous web at you. Run away from them. It's a pretty open room for the most part, so keep your distance. Grab the ink ribbon off the table here, a clip from the barrel, and then run over to this side of the pool table. The pool sticks are lined up like a clock, with 12 up top from this view. So this one in particular reads 345, but the combination isn't always the same. Remember this number combination and head back out, past the statue you set up earlier and through the door. Go through the first door you see and walk this way to this humongous wasp nest and grab the key to room 002. Immediately after, a swarm of wasps pour out of the nest, so turn around and run away. Room 002 is right next door, but first push the statue back to get some green herbs. Unlock the door, discard the key, and enter. Enter the first door, kill the zombie, and grab the clip from the sink. Use the small key or lockpick on this desk to get some shells. Grab the guardhouse map from the wall here and read the document on the bed, report of Plant 42, a plant that was accidentally mutated after a virus leak, which you learn is called the T-virus. Now push these cabinets out of the way and climb down the ladder into the basement. There'll be several crates on the floor along this corridor, and you can't cross this gap due to the water in the way. I guess Chris and Jill can't swim. So push these two crates into the water, then push this first one away from the wall, down the corridor, and into the water so you can cross. There's a green herb in the corner if you have room or if you have no health on you. Otherwise, grab it on the way back out. The basement is flooded, so you're going to be moving pretty slowly here. Head this way, and you'll be stalked by a giant shark and some of his babies. Just keep running and unlock this door with the control room key. Move the lever on this panel to drain the water from the basement. Then push this switch to unlock the door on the other side. Go into that room, grab the clips off the shelf, the key to room 003, and the 2 boxes of shells. When you leave, the sharks will be flopping around. Don't waste bullets on them. They're no threat anymore, unless you feel bad and want to put them out of their misery. This room right here has the giant roots of Plant 42. You don't need to go in here yet, just remember the location. Head back upstairs into the wide open area and unlock room 003. Enter the first room to the left and kill the zombie. Pick up the flame rounds as Jill or the clip as Chris. Exit the room and continue through the dorm. Take the white book from the row of red books, which ends up being a report on V-Jolt, a concoction designed to kill the roots of Plant 42. Now there's an empty slot where that book was. Replace it with the blank red book and the hutch will move, revealing a door. Now as Jill, you don't want to go in there yet. Plant 42 is waiting and under full strength. So head out, make sure you have at least 3 open slots in your inventory, and enter this room on the other side using the clock code from the pool table earlier to punch in the code. Remember the clock read 345, so push 3, 4, and 5, and boom, you're in. As Chris, go ahead and enter the now open door. He'll walk around like a tool in front of this gigantic Plant 42 until it grabs him and starts squeezing the life out of him. Rebecca opens the double doors, which were barricaded by the plant until now, and tries to help, but Chris tells her it won't work. She needs to use the V-Jolt, so he tosses her the V-Jolt report, and now you have to head into this room too as Rebecca. The V-Jolt report gives you the rundown of all the chemicals. They're all represented by a number, and V-Jolt is UMB number 16. The numbers on the wall give you the steps to take in mixing these chemicals to get to V-Jolt, using basic addition. The writing over here indicates that water represents the number 1, and there's UMB number 2 and 4 on the wall. So grab 3 empty bottles, fill up one of them with water, fill one with number 2 and one with number 4. And then just follow the math on the wall. First mix water with number 2, and now you've got 3. Mix 3 with number 4, and now you've got 7. Grab another 2 and a 4, mix those, and now you've got 6. Mix that 6 with the 7, and you've got 13. Now you've got to mix the 13 with the 3, so fill another bottle with water, and another with 2. Mix those 2 to get 3, mix that with the 13, and now you've got V-Jolt. Take that shit down to the basement and use it on the roots. It won't kill the plant, but it will weaken it. You have to finish it off yourself. As Chris, you'll start fighting the plant immediately. As Jill, you'll have to head back up and go through the double doors. Plant 42 will never move from the center of the room, but its long-ass vines can swat at you if you get too close. So run around the perimeter of the room, as close to the wall as you can, and fire. Use the bazooka as Jill and the shotgun as Chris. Watch for the falling pieces of ceiling. The first few small rocks won't hurt you, but then a big chunk will come down. Make sure you get away before this happens. Keep running around the perimeter, fire, and run right away so you don't get hit with the falling ceiling. When you finish it off, it'll melt into a purple glob in the floor. Go to the fireplace and grab the helmet key. After leaving, Rebecca will be waiting, and Chris will say one of the lamest lines in the script.
Yeah, so much for him. We got to the root of the problem.
The root of the problem, huh? Real clever there, Chris. So Rebecca gives you Richard's radio and then runs off to the V-Jolt room. If you go in there, she'll offer to treat your wounds, so if you're hurt, take advantage of this free health upgrade. When you get out to the hallway, you'll meet up with Wesker, who says his disappearance from earlier had to do with being attacked by a creature, and that he lost track of Jill if you're playing as Chris. They agree that escaping is the priority, and that he tells you to go back to the mansion and check the locked up rooms, as if he knew by osmosis that you just grabbed the helmet key. Go back to the mansion, and along the way, you'll get a radio transmission from Brad, who says he knows you can't answer him, but then he trails off before you can really hear what he's going to say. This radio is a piece of shit. As you're heading out to the hallway, you'll get a cutscene of something chasing you. Really fast. This cannot be good. And it isn't. You're introduced to the hunters, who run fast, strike fast with their claws, and can decapitate you in one shot if you're low on health. Blast him, wait for him to get up, and do it again. Watch out though, these bastards are agile and can jump really high. Unlock this helmet room, turn on the light at the desk, and pick up the Magnum rounds. You don't have the gun for it yet, but hang on to it for now. Also take the Doom Book 1 from the bookcase, and when you open it up, you'll find the Eagle Medal inside. Now go back to the storeroom, but you've got to fight a hunter, and now you realize that the hunters are going to be everywhere, at least where the zombies were when you were in the mansion earlier. There's a note on the wall from Barry if you're Jill or Wesker if you're Chris, saying that the bullets are in the storeroom. Grab the shells, first aid spray, and acid rounds as Jill, and shells, first aid spray, and the clip if you're Chris. Put the Eagle Medal and Magnum rounds in the item box and whatever else you may want to stash away. Just keep some weaponry, health, and the helmet key. Head down the winding hallway and watch out for a hunter that sneaks up on you here. Take him down, and the L-shaped hallway that the dogs were in is now occupied by spiders. Just run past them. Head upstairs and go through the double doors. There are hunters in here. Kill them, or try to run past them. Kill the hunters in here too, and enter this helmet room. There are shells and Magnum rounds on the bureau, and a document on the table. Orders given by a group called White Umbrella to the head of security department to lure the STARS members to the lab and have them battle the bioorganic weapons for data purposes. And then destroy the place and make it look like an accident. Corrupt much? You're not done here yet though. Push the stairs so it's lined up with the deer head and hit the switch on the wall to turn off the light. Now you can see the red glowing in the deer's eyes. Climb up and grab it, and now you have the red jewel. Head back out, down the stairs, kill the hunters, and head out to this hallway. Kill the hunters, go into the tiger room, and use the red jewel, and you'll get the Colt Python, the same Magnum revolver Barry uses. Go through this door, run past the hunters, and go back to the storeroom through the winding hallway the way you came in, and grab health and heavy weaponry. Definitely equip the Colt Python if you're Chris, as Jill the Bazooka or the Colt works. You probably ought to save the game here too. Head upstairs, kill the hunters, and head to the room back here and unlock this door with the helmet key, which you can now discard since it's useless. Now with the extra space in your inventory, you can go back to the storeroom and grab an extra health item if you have one, and then save the game here instead of earlier. When you get into this room, go examine the piano, and the giant snake will return for the final battle, and take out a chunk of the floor when trying to strike you during the cutscene. This time you don't have the beam to use as a semi-barricade, but you do have a lot more room to work with, so keep your distance, take your shots, and monitor your health. The snake will finally die this time. Check out the hole in the floor. Barry will enter the room and ask you a weird question.
Jill, have you found anything interesting?
Have I found anything interesting? How about the giant fucking snake that's melting into the floor? Is that interesting enough for you? He'll throw a rope down for you to descend, and then he drops the thing like a jackass, and says he'll be back with another rope. Wait a little while, and he'll toss it down. After climbing back up, he gives you the passcode to enter the room near the helmet door, where you got the red jewel. But you don't really need to go that way. Climb back down the rope, hit the switch on the tombstone, and it'll reveal a ladder leading to the basement. As Chris, there'll be no rope. You'll have to jump down, and there's no way back up. Kill the zombies lurking in this first room, and head this way to grab some shells and enter the next door. There's a pair of zombies eating another against the back wall here. Ignore them, and they won't bother you. Just go through the next door to the kitchen. If you head this way, a zombie will open the door. Kill it and go through the door and up the stairs. Going through these double doors will take you back to the hallway just outside the dining room at the beginning. You don't need to go this way just yet. And as Jill, you won't need to at all, so don't even bother in this case. Head to the elevator on the other side of the kitchen. The zombie will grab your leg. Shoot it if you want to save health, or let it grab you if you want to save ammo. After going up the elevator, kill the zombie and head into this door. Take the battery and explosive rounds if you're Jill, or shells if you're Chris. Now head to the door back here, kill the zombie, and grab some herbs here. There's nothing of note the rest of the way, just a zombie eating another zombie, just still alive, and a locked door. It's the one you need the passcode for from the other side, so just head back. Going the other way past the elevator, kill the zombie and go through the doors. Kill the zombie and unlock the desk with the lockpick or small key to get some magnum rounds. Now head this way and be ready for the zombie here. Kill it and check out the scrapbook, which has newspaper clippings of all the suspicious attacks in the area. Push this bookcase out of the way to reveal a door. Go in and take the ink ribbon on the desk and the clip on the bookcase. If you look out the window, you can see a heliport, which you hope to use to escape. Head back out and enter this room on the opposite corner. Push the switch here and a light will shine in the corner. Push this statue onto it and the bookcase will move. Go in and take the ammo disc. On the way back, head into this nook and grab a green herb if you have room. Then head back through the basement to the room you battled the snake back up the rope, and head back to an item box. Put away the ammo disc, ink ribbons, and some excess health, and maybe save your game. As Chris, you'll have to get out by going through these double doors and then through the dining room. Bring the square crank and the battery back out to the courtyard. In this open area here, put the battery in the slot, take it up, and use the crank to move the flow of water back to where it was. Then take the elevator back down, and the waterfall that used to block your path here is out of the way, and you can climb down the ladder to the underground. Open this door, and you'll run into Barry as Jill. He says he heard someone's voice coming from this area, and asks if you want to investigate together since it's dark. Pick yes, and when he asks if you want him to cover you, pick no. This decision will be of extreme importance to the game's ending as far as Barry is concerned. Head to the left side and take the first aid spray and explosive rounds, and then head into this direction. As you're about to open the door, a hunter will pop out and Barry takes him out. After heading into this room, you'll find a wounded Enrico, the leader of the Bravo team. He starts telling you that the stars are doomed because someone is a traitor and Umbrella plotted it out. But as he starts to elaborate, someone from a distance pops a cap in him and he dies. The assassin runs away, so you don't have a clue what happened. Barry stays behind to investigate. Take the clip from Enrico if you like, even though the Beretta is almost useless at this point. And on the way out, pick up the hex crank off the floor. Head out, kill the hunter, and head back to the door you came from, killing another hunter along the way. Now you're back in the first hallway you came in from. Run to the dead end and use the hex crank on the wall to move it so you can cross the pit. Chris's sequence is a little bit different. There'll be a flamethrower on the wall. Pick it up, but unfortunately you're only borrowing it because the door behind you locks when you pick it up. You'll need to put it back. Here you'll find the shells instead of explosive rounds, and when you get to Enrico, he'll yell double crosser and try to shoot you, but then gets pegged off himself by the unknown assassin. Grab the hex crank on the way out and use the flamethrower on the hunters, and put the flamethrower back so you can leave. After using the hex crank on the wall, enter the door, pick up the flamethrower if you're Chris, and run over to this boulder, and run back as it'll chase after you. Take refuge in this nook, and the boulder will put a hole in the wall. Run back to where the boulder was, and a hunter will enter the room. Turn around and kill him, and grab the flame rounds from the wall here as Jill, or there'll be magnum rounds as Chris. Go through the wall the boulder just took out, and enter the next room where you'll encounter a larger form of the giant spiders, this one called the Black Tiger. Run in circles around him, and when he fires his web shots, get to the side and blast him using the Colt or bazooka, or the flamethrower as Chris. When you finish him off, it'll burst with baby spiders that are annoying as shit. Leave the room and come back and they'll all be gone. The door ahead is blocked by webs, so grab the combat knife and cut away at this shit. Head this way and go through this door to the save room. Put the knife and square crank away, but keep the hex one. If you're poisoned from the spider battle, take the blue herb in the corner here and use it. Take the ink ribbon and first aid spray also, stashing away the ink ribbons after you save, if you choose to do so. Head out and run to the opposite side of the hall, running past the small snakes that fall from the ceiling, and go through the door. You'll have to put the flamethrower on the rack here if you're Chris. Head up this way, use the hex crank to move the wall so there's an opening on the left side, walk up to the boulder and run away from it as it starts rolling, and head back into this nook. Now go back to where the boulder was, grab the map of the underground from the wall, and take the MO disc from the wall here. Now head back into the spot you dodged the boulder from and into the room. If you'll notice, when you step on this bright square on the floor, the slot on the wall opens up, but it won't stay open if you step off it. Using the hex crank on here pushes a portion of the wall out. So push this statue to that spot and use the crank to push the statue away from the wall so you can push it onto the square, opening up the slot and allowing you to take the Doom Book too, which when opened up reveals the wolf medal. So head back to the item box, grab the eagle medal, stash the MMO disc, and head back out here. Take the lower path this time, taking the elevator up. There are some green and blue herbs along the edge here, and a door that's welded shut. You can't go through there. There's a fountain with 2 hollows. Place the eagle and wolf medals into each of them, and the water in the fountain will drain through the sides, revealing a secret elevator down. You're now in the Umbrella Underground Lab. This floor just has a door that opens during emergencies. Remember it for later. Go down the ladder and open up the item box if you need anything. Go through the door, kill the zombies, and pick up the herbs over here. Head down the hallways to the desk here and grab the third and final of the MO discs. The double doors here are electronically locked, so go down the stairs and kill the naked zombies. Although if you can manage to get by them, you might want to do that, because they regenerate in this area when you come back. Go through the double doors here and then take the first door to your left. Turn on the light, grab the green herb, and then read the researcher's letter, who knows he's infected and instructs his girlfriend Ada to gather evidence from the lab to make the information of these illegal experiments public. He tells her that she can unlock the security system by logging in using his name and using her name as the password. And then to unlock the visual data room, another password must be entered, and writes it in code at the bottom of the letter. The picture on the wall has the same sort of writing, so push the bookcase out of the way to access the blue light. Hit the switch, and now you can read the English text on the picture, and using the code you can translate the password as mole, M-O-L-E. So exit the room and head back to the naked zombie hallway and into this door. Take the slides from the floor and log into the computer. Type in John for the login and Ada for the password. Unlock the B2 and B3 rooms using the mole password to unlock the B2 room. Now head back upstairs and open up the double doors. Grab the security system document over here, which basically lists those with security clearance for the heliport and shit. But the name A. Wesker curiously shows up on this list, strongly hinting that Wesker is the traitor that Enrico alluded to. Open up the panel on the wall here, push the switch, and the beam on the wall moves. Go there and take the lab key. Then use the slides on the projector, which displays the BOW experiments by Umbrella, including one that you haven't encountered yet, the Tyrant. And there's also a picture of the research staff, now all but confirming that the scumbag Wesker is working with Umbrella. Who else would be wearing sunglasses while working in a lab? Now head back downstairs to the naked zombie wing, and head to the opposite corner to the door here, and use the lab key to unlock the door, and discard the useless key. Kill the zombie and head into the save room straight ahead. There's flame rounds on the shelf as Jill, and magnum rounds as Chris, and a green and blue herb beside the bed. Save your progress if you like, and fetch 2 of the MO discs from the item box. Go through the double doors and take the shells from the table. Then push these crates over the vents against the wall, pushing this one straight ahead, and this one you have to push up, and then away from the desk, then back down and across. If you push these stairs over the switch by the vent, it'll release poison gas if the crates aren't blocking it. Slip through the vent into the morgue. There's magnum rounds on the shelf and a passcode output machine. Use the MO disc to get the passcode. These codes will be filed and don't take up any space in your inventory. Then go back through the double doors by the stairs and enter the door in the middle of the corridor. Kill the naked zombies and take the facts from the wall. It's a message from the Disasters Committee to the General Manager of Sanitation, stating that the level of alarm on the viral outbreak and the fact that they have to cover it up. There's ink ribbons on the boxes here, and another output machine on the desk in the corner. Use the MO disc to get the second passcode. These passcodes are to be inputted on the panel by the door over here. You still need one more. Now head back to the save room, pick up the third MO disc, and head through the double doors here to the power room. Beware the chimeras in this room. They'll hang from the ceiling and swing their claws down. Run away from them if they try this. They'll also run along the floor. Try to run around them quickly. It's tricky because these areas are narrow. You have several tasks here now. First, head right and follow the path to the corner, turning on the power to the areas that don't have any. Then run to the opposite corner of the room to the door. Go straight and insert the MO discs into the output machine and get the last of the 3 passcodes. Then head down the opposite end through the double doors and go to this computer to connect the power to the elevator. Now you have all 3 passcodes and can enter them to unlock the door. You'll get to a cell with Chris or Jill trapped inside, depending who you're playing as. You can't open the door yet, so you'll have to come back. Really, you don't even have to come here yet. So go to the save room, get the Colt Python and bazooka and maybe the shotgun and bring some health and save your game. Go past the save room to the elevator and you activate the power. Barry or Rebecca will show up to join you. You'll go down to B4 and encounter Wesker, who reveals his plan to blow the building sky high and betray his employer Umbrella and take off with the Tyrant, which he claimed to be the most powerful biological weapon in the world and that he was in charge of developing it. When you play as Chris, he admits to being the murderer of Enrico and shoots Rebecca in the chest and escorts you to the back room of the lab to show you the Tyrant. As Jill, you'll learn that Wesker has used Barry as a minion to do his bidding by taking his family hostage. He orders Barry to wait for him upstairs. As Wesker is about to show you the Tyrant, Barry sneaks up on him and knocks him out. Barry suggests going to see the Tyrant and shut it down before it gets loose, so the 2 of you head to the back and investigate this beast. So Barry shuts down the life support, but it breaks through the glass and knocks Barry unconscious, and now you have to battle it. As Chris, Wesker releases the Tyrant to attack Chris, but it turns on Wesker, skewing him in the gut with its giant claw, and the battle begins. He's easy as fuck. All you have to do is keep your distance and hit and run. He'll just walk towards you until he gets close enough, so as long as you just play keep away, you're golden. Eventually it will fall. Wake Barry up, and he'll follow you out the door and the self-destruct system goes off. So it's time to haul ass. You'll inexplicably split up when you get to the elevator. Barry will just run off. As Chris, after defeating Tyrant and heading out the door, you'll discover Rebecca is alive and well, thanks to the bulletproof vest she was wearing. When you get off the elevator, she'll leave to activate the self-destruct system to wipe out the infected. Now head to the cell and rescue Jill or Chris. Now that the self-destruct system is activated, the cell has become unlocked. You'll split up with them soon after. Head up the stairs, kill the zombies, and head into the save room. Grab all the health you have. You don't need any weapons for the rest of the game, but you do need health. I'll explain later. It's not a bad idea to save here either. When you climb back up the ladder, you'll be reunited with your comrades. The emergency door is unlocked, so go through and head down the hallway. You'll get a radio transmission from Brad saying he's running out of fuel, so there's little time to give him a sign. Grab the battery on the floor and toss it into the slot, and now there'll be 3 minutes left before the place blows to hell. You'll hear monsters approaching, and instead of just going up the elevator with you, considering there are only 3 minutes left to live, the other 2 decide to stay behind and take care of them. So go up the elevator to the heliport, which you may notice has the double doors that are welded shut. Imagine that shit, you were that close to the heliport earlier. Grab the flare over here and use it in any spot. Brad will notice and start flying the helicopter to land it. Suddenly the Tyrant bursts through the ground, who obviously survived the earlier encounter, and stalks you for one last battle. This time he won't be so patient. You must have pissed him off with all those bullets, cause he comes after you with a running charge, swiping at you with his claw. Keep your distance and run to the side as he gets close to you, and repeat the process. Just make sure you get the timing right. Like I said earlier, you don't need to fire at him, just avoid him. And finally Brad will do something useful by tossing a rocket launcher down. Grab it, aim, and if your aim is accurate enough, it will blast him to pieces in one shot. Brad lands, you'll fly off, and the facility explodes. You'll get a rather pointless live-action scene of the survivors just sitting around in the helicopter with no dialogue, and then the credits roll. Now, like I mentioned earlier, there are alternate endings. First off, you can simply bypass the cell that Chris or Jill are in and leave them inside the building. There's also ways for Barry and Rebecca to die. As Chris, if you decide not to take Rebecca with you upon meeting her, along with some other changes, there'll be a part of the game where you have to save Rebecca from a hunter. If you take too long getting there, she'll be killed. And as Jill, if you don't wait for Barry to bring back a new rope, you'll find him dead later on in the game. And the same is true if you choose not to go with him underground and then not follow him when you hear gunshots. If any of these latter scenarios play out, you'll find Wesker alone, and after he gets killed, he'll drop the master key, which you can use to unlock the cell. In this case, the self-destruct sequence will not go off, so the building stays intact, and this time you don't even have to fight the Tyrant the second time. You'll just leave in the helicopter and the Tyrant lives. If you get the best ending and save both of your fellow STARS members, you'll get the special key which unlocks the closet in the first floor of the mansion where you'll get to change into an alternate costume for both Chris and Jill. And if you beat the game in under 3 hours, you'll get the rocket launcher with unlimited ammo. Both of these bonuses only come into play if you save the game after the credits roll. As far as Resident Evil canon is concerned, all 4 members, Chris, Jill, Barry, and Rebecca, survive, and the story would continue with many more installments and spin-offs, plus an awesome remake of this game for the GameCube. The controls may be aggravating at times, and the dialogue is absolutely laughable, but the atmosphere is chilling, the puzzles are creative, and the game is downright scary. Even by today's standards, if you've never played it before, you should get chills down your spine. And that wraps up this edition of Aqualung's Game Reviews. See you next time.